And the more that we recognize how alike we are, the more we allow one another to be humans. So when you don't know people, the strangers, you're afraid of them. Well, as a defense lawyer, you have the honor and the privilege of meeting people one-on-one who at first you don't understand, and you may not even believe you might have to struggle to find what it is about them that is human. And what I have done in my practice is that as I meet people, we connect. I see them and I become their voice. And as I am, the more, and so how do we do that? We talk. I meet them. I speak to them. They talk to me and they tell me about who they are, what their life is like, and then because I have the privilege of having been educated and gifted in certain ways and understanding certain things, I use my skills to become their voice. And then I go into court as their defense lawyer, as their shield against a system who believes that they are wrong and strange and dangerous and bad, and I am the voice of what it is about them that's human. And I then use my skills as a lawyer to defend them, to present, to whether it's to a judge or to a jury, that thing or things that I recognize, and I then am their effective lawyer. Now, we all make mistakes, but it's in the question of fairness in terms of understanding what it is, what mistake it was, if in fact they made a mistake, because very often the client is actually innocent of the charge. There are many mistakes that are made because we misunderstand one another all the time. And so for me, what the practice of being a defender is the practice of being a human being and recognizing that part of each one of us that deserves to be lifted up. Now, that doesn't mean that the person may not be punished, but if the punishment is fair, in my practice, I have never had a client who said at the end, if they were treated fairly, they feel okay. If they've been treated fairly. And most people, what that means is they want to have a chance to be heard. And for many people, being heard, they can't do it themselves because they're not. Many of my clients could not speak well. They were uneducated. They had so few words to explain who they were and what they had done or why they had done it. Many clients, there's so many clients who are mentally ill, and they're disabled. There's so many ways that people are limited, and so it's the job of the lawyer to recognize what it is about that person, what's unique about them, why they did what they did, and how you can defend them within this system. And I agree with Robert, although I think I'm different in some ways because I actually I don't really care about the law as a lawyer. I care about the people. And so then the law is a vehicle for fairness. So that was my approach as a lawyer. And I agree too that when you have a very, very difficult case, and sometimes you don't like your client, and sometimes it's so difficult, and in those situations what you're doing is you're saying, no matter how difficult it is, everyone deserves a fair trial. Everybody deserves. If the law is going to work at all, it has to work for the poorest and the worst, as much as for the richest and the smartest. It has to work evenly for everybody. And then you have a system in which people are going to be treated fairly and with dignity. And so, it's understanding and learning the tools as a lawyer and learning how to be the voice of an accused. It's great.
How are we doing